Welcome in. Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday on the YouTubes. I gotta tell you, not really in the greatest of moods because I opted to stay up last night to watch that game. And the Philadelphia Eagles decided to hand the Atlanta Falcons the game. And allowed Kirk Cousins to go down the field in like 50 seconds and score a touchdown. Left speechless. So not really in the best of moods today, but the market is green, which is great to see. We're going to take a look at a quick look at the market. We're going to take a quick look at the market and kind of examine some charts that I was thinking about before coming into the live stream. And then I'm going to open it up for TA Q&A, so feel free. You can drop your TA questions into the comments, and we should have time to chart them today. So with that being said, let's get into it. As you can see here, what I've tried to do for this 12-hour chart that we spend a lot of time talking about, I've tried to simplify the view. In fact, we can even get rid of this. I've tried to simplify the view in terms of what we're keeping track of on the higher low front. So meaning these two blue lines represent the higher lows, right? Low, higher low. So, and we discussed this yesterday. So long as we stay above this 52.5 area, this was a higher low. And it'll be interesting to see. Now, notice on this chart, not surprisingly, we're running into resistance right at that 200 simple moving average on the 12 hours. So it'll be interesting to see when we can clear above the 61.8. Remember, the name of the game is not to get to this area, okay? This doesn't do anything for us. We ultimately want to start pressing up towards here. And the reason, this area right here, the reason is because this will be a higher in relation to here. We can start to feel increasingly confident that we are starting to see that fundamental structure we need to see in a chart in order for a true trend reversal to the upside. So it's all about the higher highs, higher lows. And ultimately, as I've said before, and here we did not get confirmation, on a daily closing basis, once we can get confirmation closes above 68,000, I think that's when things are really, really going to start to accelerate. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things we had talked about yesterday was we had looked at the weekly chart, and we had talked about if we could at least print above the $60,000 area there, you should start to see the stochastic RSI dip above 20. You can see right now. Now, this is a weekly candlestick. We have plenty of time for the rest of the week, but the indicators are showing you how they would print if we closed at today's price. And so you can see right now at that $60,000 level, my thoughts yesterday were validated. You can see we're getting across above 20. So if we can close by the end of the week, and there's a lot of days left in the week, a lot can happen. We have 5 days left in the week, but if we can close relatively around the price levels we're at now, somewhere between 60 and 61, it'd be very good for those indicators on the weekly chart. In particular, the stochastic RSI will also help out the MACD and the RSI, that descending resistance on the RSI. I wanted to take a look at the 3-day chart. This is something that we spent time looking at. We talked about the fact that this was not a bullish view of Bitcoin. This is more of a bearish, I don't know what is going on here. More of a bearish view on the chart because we're printing under the 50 simple moving average. But yes, I thought I saw this. So one of the things I do want to point out though, okay, which is good to see, on the 3-day chart, one of the things that we routinely cover on this channel is bullish divergence, right? It's one of those first things that we look for on a chart. And as you can see here, the RSI is increasing in value as the price here has been going down, right? Price has been going down, but the relative strength index has been increasing. So it'll be interesting to see if that bullish divergence does play out. What do I mean by if the bullish divergence plays out? Well, if the bullish divergence plays out, we're going to get some sort of a momentum move to the upside, whether it's a fake out to the upside and a dead cat bounce or something a lot more significant. That's what the bullish divergence should lead us to. And you can see we have some descending resistance there on the RSI that looks like we're trying to peak above here. So it'll be very interesting to see how this pans out. The way I would interpret this excuse me, the way I would interpret the relative strength index on the 3-day is we're essentially we are coiled up in here. Wow, didn't mean to click on that. We are coiling up within here. So that is what I'm seeing at the moment on the 3-day. Did want to take a look at the, of course I'm in that trade play, wanted to have an honest conversation on XRP. Did want to take a look at the DXY. I should be on a Spaces tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I'm still astounded there was someone on that Spaces that thought the dollar index looks strong. Remember, if in generalities things play out as they have in times past with this whole business cycle, this roughly 4-year sort of game that's going on within the financial economy of increasing and decreasing interest rates and playing with the money supply to sort of hold the economy together is the way you can think of it. We also have certain reactions within the DXY which correspond to that. So what we should see is further weakness in the dollar index. And as you can see here, it's not surprising if we look at the weekly that we have some temporary support right in this area. Now, I don't think you could be a novice chartist to figure this one out. So first off, without even looking left for price confluence, okay, 100 is going to be a psychological level. Okay, 100 is going to be a psychological level. But this pink 200 simple moving average should provide some level of temporary support, right? The key to look for ultimately to see weakness in the DXY, which will be great for our risk on assets like crypto, what you want to see is a breakdown below here, and then you want to see this act as resistance for the maybe we get wicks up above the 200, but we can't break back above it once we've broken below it. And then we just start to continue to trickle down. And whether we bottom at 96 or 95 or lowest I could see us going is 92, which I've commented on, doesn't matter. This should coincide with a massive run in altcoins as well as Bitcoin. So we'll have to kind of see how this plays out. But we're getting to the fun stage. We're almost there. We're going to be out of September here in 13 days. And again, I'll temper expectations once we hit October 1st. It's not that on October 1st I expect everything to go apeshit. I've never said that. What I have said is that the fourth quarter is going to be very bullish. And it's going to lead into a very bullish first half of 2025. And of course, we'll assess the markets by next year and determine, have we been in a topping pattern, based on our indicators? Are we topping, or are we more likely to see further upside later in 2025? I'm not concerned about that. What I'm focused on is the immediate price action and my expectation to end this year going into 2025. Again, I can't stress this enough. I feel uber confident based on education, not hope, that we're going to have some significant upside when the fewest participants within the market are expecting it, because that's what typically happens. That's why fewer people profit in the market versus the 5% that do make out very well. Juan, welcome in. Does anybody have any TA questions for me? I see we have a few people new tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. Helps me as a content creator. While I'm waiting for you guys to drop me some ticker symbols there that I can start charting for you, I did want to have an honest conversation about XRP BTC. Now, based on a couple things to point out here. Based on this ascending line that I have drawn, okay, and you can see a few touches here, a touch here, and touches here. We may have very well bottomed on the Bitcoin pairing for XRP, which would signify that we can anticipate from this point moving forward that XRP will outpace Bitcoin. And I do believe that. From here to cycle top, I do think from the current USD levels, XRP should outpace Bitcoin and achieve higher rates of return if you manage to sell near the top. But the reason that I'm bringing up this chart is I'm beginning to see some posts out there, and I've been seeing them trickle in. Again, appreciate the engagement, guys. Need a little bit of engagement to help the small channel out. You literally, if you hide the comments and you just click the thumbs up, that's what helps me out. The thing that I'm finding more and more getting fed into the market, okay, and I'm not going to name names, but the more and more I've been on X lately, I've seen a lot of unrealistic price targets for XRP, right? And it's not just one account or two accounts. I'm seeing multiple accounts, some of them larger accounts. You can't necessarily judge the value of someone's content on X based on the number of followers. That's a really bad way to look at it. But I'm seeing a lot of charts out there that are either speaking to unrealistic price targets or suggesting much higher price targets than at least what I'm anticipating. So I want to have a very real quick conversation with you. Now, this chart in general is bearish. And why is it bearish? Because we've been doing nothing but printing lower highs, okay? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this just basic TA? And we've been printing lower lows, right? Okay, even though we have this ascending channel here, which is great to see, still lower lows. This is technically a double bottom here. Okay, but we have the lower highs. So the question we really need to ask ourselves for XRP is, and this is where it's really helpful to not only when you're evaluating your altcoin and having an honest conversation with you, because again, at the end of the day, we all want to prosper, right? We all want to, the end goal from investing, what is the end goal from investing? Let me ask you that question. What is the end goal for putting, I mean, I have a significant amount of my net worth in crypto. What's the ultimate end goal by investing that much money into crypto? Well, the ultimate goal, I'll speak for myself, is to make a return, to make a sizable return, in fact. And the only way to make a sizable return in any market is to actually sell. So what you need to do, there are a lot of things you need to do in order to maximize your potential in this market, but one of them is having an objective, honest evaluation of the key charts that are telling you what you can most likely expect for price action. And the way that you do that is not just by evaluating the USD chart. One of the ways that you want to do that for altcoins is you want to evaluate its relative strength in comparison to Bitcoin. Okay, you can compare it to other major altcoins, Ethereum, Solana, someday Caspa, when it does enter the top 5 at some point, in my humble opinion. But that's one of the ways that you want to evaluate an honest assessment of price action. In this case, realistically, I think the thing that, we would like to see is for the XRP BTC value get right up into this area. Now, why do I say this area? Because you can see back in 2021, that is where we hit, okay, in 2022 as well. So anywhere in this zone, okay, and that is potential upside against Bitcoin. So this is in addition to the value that Bitcoin increases in USD value from current levels. If we pick approximately the midpoint of this section, it's a 250% rate of appreciation. So at current price levels, what that is saying is, at current price levels, if Bitcoin were to pull a 2x, XRP would also double, putting it at $1.20. And if XRP tops somewhere near Bitcoin's top, which for the sake of this conversation we're saying is $120,000, that would put XRP somewhere around 240, if my math is correct, $3. I think $3. Yeah, And we can actually take the relativity value. I can just tell you what it would be. Let's just calculate it. That is point, how many zeros? 4 zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll say 3.6. And we'll say it tops somewhere when Bitcoin is at $120,000. Puts it at $4. And again, I'm in the camp that I think it's realistic. I think it's realistic to say, hey, I think XRP can revisit its prior all-time high somewhere between 350 and 380. I also think it could go as high as $5. $7 isn't out of the realm of possibility. But however, you'd have to have some combination of Bitcoin going very high, okay, very high, and you'd also have between that and also this chart sort of breaking the bearishness that's been exhibited within price and coming up to these levels, okay? It's less likely. It's not impossible. I'm not saying XRP hitting $7 is impossible. It's not. It's certainly possible. It's just less likely, right? Anything beyond $7, if you're talking double digits, because I'm seeing this conversation going around X, I think there are certain people who hold a lot of this asset, and they've been holding it for a while, if I had to take an educated guess, and they're going to say what they need to say to create exit liquidity. That's just me being honest with you. I do not see XRP by next year going to double digits. Just be realistic with your investments. Again, 3 to 5 is my base case. 7 is awesome if it were to hit anywhere near 7. But again, even if we do hit those price levels, remember, the key to being successful and prospering from that price movement is selling. It's having a game plan in place and actually executing and hitting the sell button and not feeding into X. In fact, probably one of the best things you could do for yourself if you find that you're more of an emotional investor, once we start to really pick up in the market, to some degree, I would begin removing yourself from X, because you will have a higher likelihood of feeding into emotions based on all this garbaggio that's put out into the market. There was something else I wanted to comment on, I forget. Juan, you want me to take a look at Casper, Juan? Wow. Sure, we can take a look at Casper. Now, one of the things that I did, why? Is it having a big move today? Is it unsurprisingly having a big move, to the upside? No, it's not. It's up 1.5 points. Wow, look at that. Now, one of the things, again, in my opinion, first off, this to me, this is not what you want to invest in. You do not want to invest anything in a chart that looks like this. That's just foolish. Okay? Take it from someone who hasn't even just been doing crypto since 2017, who's actually been buying and selling stocks since 2000 and I don't even know how long, a long time. This chart is horrific, right? But even with a horrific chart, there are trade opportunities and there are things that you want to look for to give you clues that maybe you could take a little swing trade play. Now, for me personally, I think there are better charts out there to take trade positions in. I'm personally not looking to trade this at the moment. However, I will evaluate the chart as such as if I was taking a trade position. So let's take a look at this chart. Now, the first thing I'm going to look for here, let's go to a smaller time frame, because typically the bullish divergences will show up on smaller time frames. In this case, you can see there is clear bullish divergence, which is great to see. The relative strength index is increasing as price has been going down and remaining stagnant. Can we see it on a weekly as well? We can. We can see it on a weekly as well if I move that. Okay, you can see there's bullish divergence. So I like to see that on the smaller time frames as well as the weekly, we're beginning to see bullish divergence. The MACD is beginning to pick up, and the stochastic RSI looks like it's above 20. Are we above 20 here? Oh, wait, this is the MACD. Where the hell is the... Here we go. Yeah, we're well above 20. So, in my humble opinion, I think it is very possible, especially given where the market's at right now. This is the first time I've said this, okay? So for anyone who is a Casper fan, a little glimmer of hope here, right? The bottom may be officially in because we're starting to see some clues on the lower time frames and even the weekly that we're getting bullish divergence, meaning the momentum and strength to the downside is waning, right? It's becoming more weak, right? A lot of strength behind the movement down here, not so much in recent price action here. Now, if I were to take a trade position at 1.1 cents or 1.2 cents, where would I look to take profit? Well, the only price confluence, unfortunately, we're going to have below these red lines because we entered the no-no zone and there's no historical information. The only thing we can do is draw conclusions based upon this information for immediate price action. So where I would be looking to take profit, if you want to take a trade position here, again, I do not suggest investing in this. Never financial advice, but there are much better charts out there. You have thousands of cryptocurrency tokens to choose from. This thing has fallen apart, and we have to recognize and respect that. I'm not saying that I would never, ever reestablish a position in this project, but the chart has to show me something first, right? That's just being logical and grounded. It will, again, we have to recognize as analysts within this space that the most probabilistic things don't always pan out. But when we take a trade or we make an investment decision in the favor of something that is more likely and probable, doesn't that make more sense? If something had a 30% probability and the other thing had a 70% probability, it's like betting on a sports game. Would you want to take the 70% bet or the 30% bet? Okay? The people who have been holding out for hope in this thing ever since it's gone down from 3.5 cents to a penny, they've taken the 30%. The people who wisely got out took the 70% bet. Okay? Now, the zone I would be looking for initially to take profit, if I were to establish a trade position, would be anywhere in here based on price confluence. So it'd be between 1.5 cents all the way up to 2.3 cents. Once we start to clear 2.3 cents, if this thing does recover, which I'm sure it will at some point, once it begins to recover, your next area of opportunity would really be here, anywhere really between 3 cents and 2.5 cents. So again, for this thing to really recover, you gotta pull a 3x, and it's a long way off. Todd, super chats are never expected, man, but always appreciated. Thank you so much for the continued support, and thank you so much for everyone who continues to come in. I know the channel, again, I know I have a very small channel. I guess one of the benefits to that is most of you, at least, who take the time to comment, I've gotten to know pretty well, which is nice. But I do appreciate the support. Hopefully things pick up a little bit when there's... I know there's some data out there showing the interest is very low on YouTube right now for crypto content. So hopefully when things start picking up in the fourth quarter leading into the Christmas holiday, I can get some additional subscribers on this channel who find value in the content. Facts over feelings. How are people still holding Casper? Not a single tier 1 exchange despite being created in 21 literally says it all. Yeah, no comment on the tier 1 exchange. But again, I think, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here because I feel like I've spent enough time talking about it. But I do think sometimes what happens within crypto, and I found this, it's interesting human behavior. You see the same thing, you find the same thing in life in general. You find it with cliques, like when you were younger. You find it in politics. People are very tribal. They want to be part of a group, right? And sometimes what happens is you get these bigger influencers. I am not an influencer. Again, I'll say this again. I'm a content creator. I'm an educator. But you get these influencers who continue to talk about a token. And they establish a community based on that token. And that's what's giving them clicks and views. And they just continue to feed into it. Now, so they're biased, right? They're biased. They're not objectively evaluating the chart. They're continuing to feed people information, to give them hope. And those people feel like they're part of some tribal group and they have some, deep emotional rooted reason to be in it, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, at the end of the day, when you think about it, I've worked really hard to get where I'm at in life, and I'm sure many of you have as well, most of you, or all of you. And I do well for myself financially, and I want to continue to do well for myself financially. And one of the ways that I can do well for myself financially is to make prudent investment decisions, right? I have made plenty of mistakes, and I know I'll make plenty of mistakes moving forward and have plenty of opportunities to learn. But the way that you make prudent investment decisions is by unemotionally, objectively evaluating the charts, evaluating the data. Even if you're accounting fundamentals into it, which I would encourage everyone who's taking larger positions in certain projects, definitely take into account the fundamentals. You want to objectively evaluate that, right? You will notice, I just said this a week or two ago, you will notice projects I've spoken to in the past, I may have a differing opinion on something that I'll share with you that may run contrary to what I've spoken in the past, because either the chart has changed or something about my view on the fundamentals has changed, and I'm willing to be authentic with you guys and share that information as I'm going on this. This really is a learning journey, right? And I'm just trying to be open and transparent with you guys. I'm not going to establish these cliquey communities and be tribal with projects. I think it's stupid. Like, I think it's really stupid. You're not adding, like, if at the end of the day, my goal is to help you out and be someone who you come to whose opinions you respect, to help you make informed decisions, how am I helping you by being disingenuous, by getting a community to watch my channel and then just continuing to churn out videos to that community even though the chart is completely falling apart? It doesn't make any sense to me. Don't agree with it, and I don't like it. Let me get to Todd's question, because he did give me a super chat and I haven't even read it. Sorry, Todd. Are you in the process of creating an updated cast peak video for this cycle? Yes, sir. And I did comment that I'm deriving alternative price targets based on something. I had seen something that someone had posted out on Caspa, and it gave me the idea that, hey, as you're trying to theorize the market capitalization of something, and I have a video out there depicting why I think 2 to 4 is very reasonable, which I still do, very much so. But there are alternative methods that you can use to project a hypothetical market cap. So I'm going to use an alternative method to derive sort of another range, and that's going to kind of refine my view. I will say this. I have become more bullish in terms of what I think is possible. And the reason that I've waited to put that video out, I will be honest with you, engagement on YouTube right now is not good. So for a video that I'm going to put a lot of work into, and I think will be a lot of value to the community, I'm going to put it out when there's a little bit more excitement in the market. So I probably won't release that until maybe the middle of the fourth quarter. I'm going to wait a little bit. So yes, I will have an updated view on Caspa. I've already, by the way, Todd, begun to crunch some numbers. And I can tell you that based on the alternative analysis, $2 is pretty light. $2 is pretty light. So we'll get into that, though. I just know how you like Jordan Casper. Did you listen to the interview or live cast on X yesterday with the Trumps? So, great question. I listened to a little bit of it. I was watching the Eagles game, and during the commercials, I would mute. Man, I don't know what I did to my finger, man. I'm injuring myself lately. I would mute the TV and I would listen to the interview. I didn't really find it that informative, so I eventually just clicked off of it. I didn't really find any value in that conversation. What's up, Evan? Good to see you. Guys, I'm going to take... I will take one more TA question if you have it. If not, we're going to sign out. And I will have some brand new material for you for tomorrow's live stream. I'll have to think about what I want to put together. Any charting questions? Any charting questions? Any charting questions? It can be traditional markets. It can be crypto markets. I am fine with whatever. If not, meeting adjourned, and I'm going to go make my protein ice cream. Kyle, good to see you, my friend. Oh, now all the charting questions come in. I love how I'm ready to leave the live stream, and I'm like, do you have any? Guys, Tuesdays and Thursdays is TA Q&A. Don't wait to the last minute, Kyle and Thava, to drop your questions. Do it at the beginning of the stream. I'm not going to miss it. It's not like there's 500 of you tuning in. Let me see here. Tacos sounds phenomenal. Let's get to MNW. We haven't looked at this one in a while. I know we've looked at it before. The chart has clearly fallen apart. Now, why has the chart fallen apart? Well, not only can you see we're in a strong downtrend, the last time we charted it, we were somewhere up here because I have a green area of support there. So now that we've broken well below that, let's put this on a weekly. Not looking good, my friend. Are you holding this? Because this, I got to tell you, this chart is not pretty. Now, we do have a double bottom here. Let's first off draw these areas of resistance. Now that, what's going on? Oh, my God. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to have to, God damn. We're going to have to get above there. Now, we are in the midst of printing a double bottom. So that's at least a good sign. I don't like the way this thing's completely fallen apart, though. This is not the most bullish chart. I'm not a big fan of this chart. I was a fan when we were up here. But again, now that structure broke and we came all the way back down here, not a fan. So, yeah, I could draw another area of resistance here at 65 cents. But the name of the game here, my friend, is to get above, Kyle, it's to get above 90 cents in the psychological level of $1. Got a little bit of bullish divergence here, which is good to see. If we put it on a 3-day, I'm sure it'll show up even more. Yeah, the RSI is increasing, so hopefully that's an indication that we could expect some sort of a strong bounce here. MACD's beginning to cross, but I would expect some heavy resistance in this area since we broke down below here between 90 cents and $1. We got to get above there. Come back on the channel and let's rechart it after we've gotten back above $1. After we've held $1, psychological level. Boson. I've never heard of this. Boson. What is Boson? Well, let's take a look together. What is Boson? I've never heard of this project before. Reject cookies. Cookies sounds good. I don't have any cookies. God damn it. I don't have any cookies to put in my... protein ice cream. Boson. Boson protocol. Rank number, what was it, 600. Market cap, 33 million. Okay, so small market cap here. We have enough price data we can just look at the weekly here. I'm going to keep it on the weekly. I'm not going to go any more granular than this. Oh. What do I have open here? Hold on, I can't see everybody's lovely names. Okay. You know, I think it's really unfair. When I come out here on YouTube and I do these live streams, I'm on video all the time, or at least 95% of the time. And I can't see anyone's face here. I have no idea what you guys look like. I'm handicapped. Okay, so clearly... one of the first things I would point out here, which is rather obvious, we have a downward area of resistance, right? Which is never good to see because at the end of the day, what this is signaling to us is since inception of this project, we've been in a downtrend. There are lower lows coming in, and there were lower highs, right? You can clearly see the lower lows, okay? Pretty obvious, and the lower highs. Now, the hope is we've bottomed here. So let's try to figure out where we should hold on to for support, okay? By looking left and looking at that historical price action and looking at current price action, right around there. I'm not going to make the area too cute. Right around there is an area of support, and right around there. So there's a big area of support between, it looks like, what is this? 0.24. And then I want to make these round numbers because this is getting a little difficult. 0.19. So between 19 cents and 24 cents looks like a good area of support. I really want to see that hold. Now, if we start to lose 19 cents, not a fan, because now what you're opening the door to is, well, let's look at potential downside from there. You want to hold 19 cents. If you don't hold 19 cents, you're opening up another 16, possibly 17% drop, 30% drop, and then maybe a double bottom at a 50% drop. So let's hold 19 cents. Let's hold 19 cents. We got this nice range here between 24 cents and 19 cents. Let's hold that. You can see that right now, there's this little more low time frame area of resistance. We have the macro area of descending resistance, and now the lower time frame area of resistance we want to break out above. I'm not going to keep that there because the chart's getting too cluttered. Now let's talk about areas beyond the descending resistance we're going to have problems with. Clearly there's an area of resistance right there, and that is at 37.5 cents. There is another area of resistance, and it coincides there, and they say TA doesn't work. Is there any reason to draw? No, I would move this up. I'd put it right about there. There's another area of resistance at 52 cents. So ultimately what I'd like to see, and that was Thaba who asked the question, and let's actually, one quick thing. Let me take a look and see if there's any bullish divergence. So we do. So what's nice to see, prices going sideways. Look at the relative strength index increasing. Okay, very good to see. Stochastic RSI looks good. So again, a couple of these charts we've evaluated, interestingly enough, noting where we're at nearing the end of September, we're seeing some signs here that we may have bottomed within some of these altcoins. The question is it a true local bottom? And we're going to establish that high time frame bullish structure to go to new euphoric highs in a lot of these things? Or are we going to get some sort of bounce in some of these and then just roll over and create new lows? I would say for most of these charts, we're looking at true reversals coming up for too many reasons I've mentioned on a lot of the macro charts we've looked at in my view of the market. But this is showing signs that we may have bottomed. And what I want to watch for is I want to watch to hold this area. Maybe we get a fake out and a range deviation, but we hold 19 cents. That's fine. And then I want to start to come up to these areas. Come back to the channel and let's take a look at it once we're above 52 cents. When this thing holds 52 cents as support, we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, that's all I had. I will be back tomorrow sometime between 5 and 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to get a lot of sleep tonight after making the mistake of staying up for that game. And I'll be back here. I'll try to put an agenda together ahead of the live stream. But until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness. Let's carry the education forward. Take care, everyone.